Good evening and welcome to another edition of Sports Wrap. And tonight we're going to have a full team. In fact, that's our last edition before Independence, guys. I am Lockett Sebastian, and together with me is
Ron Lander
and
Dr. Thompson Fontaine.
Yeah, so tonight we're going to have a nice show. We hope to have Fiala in house with Severin McKenzie and her husband as well. Have a discussion, read some event they're going to be having at Jungle Bay. We should have the volleyball guys here. They just failed to win that championship in Antigua. And also, we have to discuss cricket. There's plenty cricket. Windward Islands cricket, West Indies cricket, India, New Zealand. In fact, the last test match starts tonight. Tonight. So
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. But when they lost, Bangladesh lost badly,
miserably.
And it makes the World Test Championship interesting, because now South Africa is in the mix as well.
Well, not for the West Indies. We still
No. West Indies have no chance.
With dead last.
No chance. No chance at all. And guys, I was listening to the comment this afternoon, and the guy Nickel made a point about Bishop made a point about, well, it's nice the coaching staff want to give guys a run and blah blah blah. So the guy now Nickel will say, well, unfortunately that Alec Afanaz and then Bishop never said one word about that. I listened, well, he never. After the guy said, well, Afanaz was unlucky, batted 2 innings, Ian Bishop never commented. I say, boy, this guy is something.
Yeah.
You put him in a position he should not have batted openly, because as I said last week, Evan Lewis is there, batted 2 innings. You fail, you drop him.
That's the question I asked last week. Was he been set up to fail?
Yeah, and when he's in Trinidad now, I guess the only problem with that, if he going to play, Pascal looked like the fellow that will be left out.
Wow.
Yeah, he looked like the person that, because I was telling that to Ronald, and today Ronald was saying, I say, well, if you look at the batting order, Kevin can't get dropped. That's how you look at it in the middle order. Ambrose is the captain, he can't get dropped. Descat makes 67, he can't get dropped. The wicketkeeper can't get dropped. So one of the openers have to get dropped. And it looked like the junior partner in the opening. The only thing I don't want them to do is have Afanaz batting open again. That's the only thing I hope they don't do. Have him to bat open again. Because let him bat in middle order. So, but we'll see how it goes tomorrow.
A guy cannot be the captain of West Indies under 19 and cannot get a chance to play for the Windward Islands. You have to find a way, a player of that caliber. You've got to find a way of involving such a player in the Windward Islands team. But my major concern, though, is that at the point in time when we're having a local 50-over league, you're having an international West Indies against England. How are you going to develop cricket in the region when your test players who are supposed to be part of your local league are isolated and now playing against England? But the interesting thing is CG United seems to be making a lot of money in the region. They're sponsoring the West Indies team, the competition between England and West Indies, and they're still sponsoring the local competition. But the local competition, and Sibo made that point some time ago when the Bajan fellow, what's the Bajan fellow name?
Andrew Mason.
Andrew Mason was there with us. That's poor management. You cannot have a local 50-over league in the Caribbean, and at the same time, you've got West Indies playing a 50-over game against England.
Well, as I say, I spoke about long term when I saw the fixtures. Not only that, I said the test match, when it starts, the final of the 50 overs will be going on the same time, the test match starting. I mean, I don't understand that. The test match is on. Luckily tomorrow, Windward's playing on TV, but there's no ODI in Antigua, so at least people will be able to watch Windward Islands tomorrow. But it's just a mix-up and a whole bit. But guys, we'll come back to cricket. Sunday will be 46th anniversary of independence. And I was speaking to somebody today, and I say, well, are we really independent? Or, because take for instance, look at the Creole Festival. the people have to depend on one guy to give them to buy tickets for them, and you say to yourself, but how dependent are too many people in Dominica are just dependent on one or two people to survive. And I don't know how. And Dr. Funke, I have to mention something to you. You're into this agriculture thing. About a month ago, last 2 months, every day there was watermelon in Dominica, right? Sometime you would have 4 van loads down, then Steve down about 7 van every single day. Last Saturday, I said, let me drive around the market. You couldn't find one melon. I said, here was a chance for guys to make money. And you wonder to yourself how it is farming is done in Dominica. There was a chance guys could make a lot of money. There was not one melon you could find last weekend. And I'm saying the people that matter, what are they doing? Obviously, guys need water to plant. So irrigation system and all these things when the powers that be need to be doing for the people, and they're not doing it. And, it's really sad. And I just wonder, man, how we are in Dominica. When they call me from calling, a guy tell me, Shibo, look, I see them giving certain people tickets. I say, well, all you have to grab one. That's all. Grab one, it's not their money. Giving people tickets. And we talk about we independent, one guy. And how I look at it, I tell somebody, these guys don't care. They know what they're doing. They don't care. They know what they're doing. They know what they're doing, obviously. Ronald,
is unfortunate that in agriculture, since 2004, we don't have a main export crop. When Black Sikatoka came in and hit our bananas in 2004, thereabout, we have never recovered from that. St. Lucia had Black Sikatoka, and St. Lucia continued exporting bananas to the UK, and they're exporting bananas all over the world now. But for some strange reason, our focus on agriculture, we've lost it.
Yeah, I understand they're exporting to Canada right now.
Yes.
To St. Lucia?
St. Lucia.
How can you have rich, fertile soil and a lot of water and you don't have an export crop? How are you going to grow your economy? How are you going to grow the economy? And that's fundamental. And you see it in all different areas. You see the World Creole Music Festival? You got 16, 17 foreign bands. So all the money you made is out it goes. There is no multiplier effect. There is no money circulating in our economy. You think all the sellers will put money in National Bank, and National Bank was a main sponsor of the World Creole Music Festival. But let's see the numbers. When they come out with the numbers, let's see what the numbers say.
I think that's why they say Dominicans, the friendliest people in the world. We are really friendly. Because we seem to love foreigners more than we love ourselves.
But you have to talk about that, Can you imagine? They had a guy from the singing called The Voice. He comes to a show and he's singing playback, Playback. And I am sure Dice and Friend and Calypsos could have come on that same night and bring in more people there. But a guy was singing the playback. But comes to the Creole Festival.
What justification do you have for having almost an entire night of soca and no calypso?
Exactly.
Makes absolutely no sense. And you're bringing in artists from Antigua
and
to come and sing quite frankly nonsense, you know. And I'm telling you, Dice in that slot. And even Hunter, Hunter has the most popular song ever, Jamais, around that time. Even Hunter Scrunter throwing down that song there would have been, would have.
In fact, if you had about 5 or 6 Calypsonians, would have brought in more people, and the people enjoy themselves more. Yeah. You have a guy doing playback on stage. You bring a guy all the way from Trinidad to do playback, man. It's a nonsense.
Yeah.
And Calypsonians themselves must.
But the Cultural Association and the Dominican public need to demand, I believe it's about time that the Dominican public demand that these Calypsonians are part of the show, And then also there was this guy from Jamaica that played on the Friday night.
When they say all kind of language they spoke.
It's supposed to be a family-friendly program, and the guy was lewd language, foul language. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible.
We have a caller. Good evening.
Gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening,
And how you all are doing, gentlemen?
We are very well.
Yeah, gentlemen, I want to make a point of independence too. Because as far as I am concerned, we were more independent in the 80s and 90s than we are now. My reason for saying this is this. In the 1890s, we had a banana industry. We had a coconut industry. we had a citrus industry, we had a big oil industry. What do we have today, gentlemen?
Well,
So what do we have today?
well,
At that time, so let me go further. At that time, farmers used to go to the they used to go and buy that where they selling the pickups and so on in those days, and buy their pickup cash, cash, always drive cash. Farmers did not used to take loan to build their homes, and they used to school their children. How many farmers can do that today, gentlemen? So we are more dependent now than we were before. Okay? Good night.
Dr. Fontaine, is Archibald from your area? You know Archibald, right?
Yes, sure.
Right.
Yes.
Can you imagine Archibald?
The
security had this company long time where he's. Now they've told him, like the Wasco, we no longer want you, and they've given the contract to a guy who was deported from the States who can't find workers. Yeah, and that is the kind of thing you have in Dominica. Now the workers are out of work. They don't know where they go.
But this Archibald was the same company that Sogofly.
Exactly. When it was said that when Sogofly died, although Archibald is the main man, so right now you're going to find a new company at the Wasco, and Archibald is off. I don't know what's happening in this place. So it's all this kind of nonsense that goes on in Dominica. And Ronald, you say you want to do figures. You think they're concerned about figures? From girls, they're not concerned about that. They guys know what they're doing. They make sure, and that's why I said about this campaign financing. All these are people should be about when you take tickets and you bribe people to come to festival, and again the people themselves, all people, how I would say it now, is that what you want? Is that how they look at you? They give you a ticket, or Christmas they give you a ham, they give you a whatever it is, a turkey, and you're satisfied with that? Man, I tell you, man, we have another.
When you run the festival,
hold that what you come back to. Good evening.
Gentlemen, good evening to you. I personally think, and good evening to your listeners, I personally think King Dice 10 times should have been on the lineup, and Nacio Fountain. More of our local people, Calypsonians, should have been there. Yes, it's World Hall Music Festival. I personally don't have no problem with Jamaicans or any other artists coming in, because we're paying artists big money, and when it's our own, they're getting peanut to it. I think King Dice should have been there, Nacio Fountain, and more of our local. Let the money stay in Dominica to speculate in the economy. That is what I believe.
Yeah, thank you, caller. Ronald, you're going to make a point.
Yeah, it's so unfortunate that every opportunity we have in Dominica to stimulate economic activity, that we let it go astray. I'm not too sure who is working, who are the economists giving critical support to the government, because over and over you see opportunities where we can stimulate, we can get things, and things are hard in Dominica. You move around and you see people, Chinese inside, Dominicans outside. Dominicans on the roadside trying to make $1, and it's difficult to make $1. You go to the market, you can go to the market at any time and get goods at the market. You can go very late and still get whatever you want in the market, because there is little or no money in circulation. And we need to get money in circulation. We need to get stimulated activity in Dominica. We look at the airport project, and who are the main people in the airport project? Something I've been seeing recently, and I would like some natural scientist, some engineer to give some explanation to Dominica. Why are we importing so much cement into Dominica? What are we doing with all that cement at this point in time?
Well, I forget what you said. They probably say the airport.
The cement is for the airport.
Yeah,
So
the airport.
What are you doing with all that cement
they're
now in
mixing
the
it.
airport?
They're mixing it in the dirt, I think, to stabilize the airport.
So what impact is that going to have on the environment?
Well, they spoke about some lake that has developed some time ago as a result of all that cement. I heard. That's what I heard.
Oh, the lack of it, but now I think they're mixing. I'm told that the cement is to mix with the dirt so that it can prevent the water from the seepage, whatever, something to that effect.
But that is critical. That is critical. You should have identified somewhere else where you don't have to do that problem. And cement with dirt.
Yes.
What are you going to get in the end?
Cement plus dirt.
That is critical. I would like somebody for engineering background to explain to Dominicans exactly what is happening with all the cement that we're importing in Dominica. And who is the agent for bringing in all the cement?
Well, that's a good question. You know,
Who's the agent?
I don't know.
I think it's been brought in by the Chinese themselves.
Yeah, I think so. Because
where the boat is coming from?
China.
I think, and it's coming so frequently.
Yeah, because there's a big boat. In fact, they say sometimes when the boat is alongside, some boats have to leave the island because with cargo, because the boat sometimes there for like 2-3 days alongside. So I don't know. I mean, all sorts of things that happen in the place and nobody knows. Let's take this caller. Good evening.
Good evening, and how are you all, sir?
Are we okay? We're okay.
Okay. You know, to me, for this independence, what we need is a protest from the 1st of November. A protest we should have on the road for this independence because we are not independent.
Well, you have to expound, you know. I mean, if you say, why you think we're not independent? Caller? Hello?
Hello?
You say, why you think we're not independent?
I didn't get that.
You said we're not independent. Explain. That's what I'm asking.
Because most people, they will put it that way, depending on the authorities.
You think it's the authorities or the authority?
Especially the illegal prime minister.
Okay, I hear you, sir. All right, thanks, then. Yeah, the authority. I don't think they are authorities. I mean, you have one guy. I mean, everything revolves around him and the other people there. That's quiet. We have another caller. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
We're not hearing you, sir. Speak a little louder, please.
Can you hear me now?
Now we're hearing you now.
The reason why our country is backward.
No, you're still low. We're not hearing you now again.
You're not hearing me? You're not hearing me?
We're hearing you now, yeah.
I said the reason why our country is so backward because we have a sheep ruling our country. A mouton batali. The man is so foolish that we bought a piece of land, paid for the piece of land, millions of dollars, and look how we have Chinese mixing cement with dirt to do what? And after all that, so they have cement the airport, build the airport. That man haven't got a brain in his head. The man trying Dominican. And while he's trying Dominican, Chinese going high and high. Every stranger on our back. And we have a mouton battery called Ferry ruling our country.
Careful. Yeah. Go on.
That what nobody in the country can take over that dumb Scary. That one haven't got no common sense, haven't got nothing in his head, you know. I wonder if Scary. My God. What is wrong with Dominicans, sir?
Calm down, caller. Don't get a heart attack. So don't let that get you a heart attack, caller. Take it easy.
But caller, Mr. Skerrit, caller, Mr. Skerrit is one man.
He's still there. Yes, caller?
I am peace.
Okay, just calm down. We know that.
Good night. But Skerrit is only, Mr. Skerrit is one man. What about all the other persons that are around him? All the permanent secretaries, all the ministers. Who is giving him critical support? Who said, Mr. Skerrit, this is not the right way to go. This is the way you should be going. Who is helping him? Who are the technical people?
Let's take this caller. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening, Dominica. Good evening, St. Joseph. Good evening, guys. Good evening.
How are you, man? Good night.
Sibo,
yes.
Dr. Fontaine, and all the others, I want to say it's sad, When we talk like that, I just want it to be the future of our school children that go into school today. What the next generation gonna be like in Dominica? It's because of our selfishness. We are greedy for ourselves. Before, when people used to vote, they used to vote hoping their children have a better life. Today, Dominicans just seems like they're voting for today. What I see in front of me and what. Because think of it, Dr. Fontaine right there. Here is it a man that have a country in a debt of 1,600,000,000. Look at a man building an airport. By the time that airport finish, it's gonna almost $2 billion. If you're 20 years, do you believe you will enjoy an international airport in Dominica? The amount of debt on that airport, you believe you're going to enjoy it? The man fool his pocket already. The man live in lavishly. The man live in Mrs. Pharaoh and Mr. Pharaoh. And the man have your children at 18 years in poverty. How can you go and stand up in a line after all your mother, your family, and say you're going to make a cross to put back that guy in power? Dominicans wicked to their own self. I ain't blaming Scary. We have to blame ourselves. God bless all you.
I think you're right. By the way, in England, in Antigua, England made 209. West Indies haven't started batting. It was raining. They haven't restarted. So England all out for 209 in 45.1 overs. West Indies will start batting just now. Yes. So yeah, guys, I say Independence on Sunday. We have some people getting awards, guys. We heard some names there, and you know, when we grew up, when you heard for November and you heard people getting awards, you look for, because you know it was something prestigious thing. But now, what you think is people who are liked by the Supremo. That's the only way you'll get an award, Ronald.
But the one of the clear areas, one of the best areas is FLR4. You see a lot of people, because of their allegiance to the government, they're getting awards. But FLR4 genuinely is going to get an award for outstanding performance. And that is one of the areas of comfort for me.
Sibo, I've not seen the list. You have any name?
I know Simeon Albert. I know Simeon Albert is one name. And when I heard that, I laugh. I say, Simeon Albert is getting that award.
For what again?
I don't know. I didn't hear. I just heard his name. And I say, well,
I think it's for community work.
He's getting that.
Yeah,
Simeon Albert.
Well, community work.
Goodness. I don't understand. Yeah, they make it look like that's a political thing now, man. I mean, you look forward to that before you know. I mean, Mark, don't get me wrong, there's some people who get it and deserve it. I mean, I'm not even talking about Fiona. I mean, she deserves it a million times. But some other people on the list over the years have genuinely deserved it. But now they make it look too political that one guy has to decide, well, if you guy don't want you can't get an award, and they look for people, their supporters. That's a nonsense, honestly. Just a nonsense. So what Simeon Albert's name is there. I heard his name, and that's it. Yeah. So guys, we're going to take a break now because we have some high-powered people joining us after the break. So we'll take a break now.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Looking for a quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@portersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Porter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, space basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Okay, we are back, and ladies and gentlemen, all of Dominica, Dominicans home and abroad, we have with us royalty. I have a beautiful lady to my left, a lady who has made Dominica proud. How to call it? Going to be awarded on Sunday afternoon. She deserves it. She deserves more than it. I also have to my right, Mr. Severin Mackenzie. By the way, I didn't say the lady's name. I'll leave it for last. Another gentleman over there. But I will let them introduce themselves. That I want to say. So first of all, young lady to my left, introduce yourself, please, for Dominicans.
Good evening. It is I, Thea Lafol Gadsden, your Dominican 2024 Olympic champion from the Paris Games this summer. And it is great to be back in the studio.
And
oh, you want me?
Yeah, I want you, Severin, to say.
You're Severin Mackenzie from the Dominica Business Forum.
And
hi, this is Aaron Gadsden, and I'm her coach and husband, but primarily I'm just a husband for now.
Okay, Fia, we have spoken to you in Sports Rap, but first time we really have you in the studio, and it's a pleasure. Honestly, I'm sure Dr. Fountain, Ronald, we're all happy. And Dominicans on the whole should be proud because, like I've always said, winning an Olympic gold medal is an outstanding feat. In fact, everywhere in the world, people have won Olympic gold. You hear that name that I can right in the Caribbean. You have Trinidad. What's his name? The 100 meters in Trinidad. One he won it in 76. It's the Crawford. You have that. You have in St. Kitts right there. I mean, don't talk about Jamaica. So Dominicans have to be proud that we have this outstanding lady who has made us proud. I'm sure everybody done that afternoon who was watching. Dr. Fountain, I'm sure you were happy. Huh? Yeah. Absolutely. That afternoon when she made the whole country proud. And some people seem to take this thing lightly. This is not a light moment, winning an Olympic gold medal. We have to see. In fact, I was reading what Noel Lyles was saying. When they went back home, in fact, when he got to the thing, somebody had to give him a ride from the airport to his home. He was saying that. And he was saying how, what's his name? The guy from Africa, the one who won the 200 meters. What's his name right now? He won the 200 meters.
From Botswana.
Yeah. And he was saying how he was showered with all sorts of... In the guy in Tobago. Yeah. In the guy in Pakistan, who it was the discuss, what he was given. So anything Fiala forgets. She deserves it, guys. Honestly,
yes, absolutely, and it's good as well. And also, but that's the 100th country in the world to get a gold medal in the Olympics. The number 100,
really?
Dominica was.
Oh my goodness, what a special number! Right?
Yes, absolutely.
One of the most interesting things is that when Fia performed, she was nursing an injury, but with that injury, she still performed excellently. That is outstanding.
Right. Okay, let's get to the point now. Several, you're here to tell us about this big event you have on Monday. Tell listeners what it's about.
All right. Well, see, well, as you know, Fia came in and she jumped. She jumped to gold on the 3rd of August, 2024. And also later, was it? Well, the days go so quickly, I can't even remember. But she was honored by the government, you know, I mean, which a fitting gesture from the government of Dominica, and we just thought that from the private sector point of view, we should be able to show some type of appreciation. So the Dominica Business Forum actually got in touch with Billy Doctor of the Dominica Olympic Committee and Jungle Bay Sam Raphael, and we said that the best way we can do it in a very simple, but to show real appreciation for what we have done, is to get persons, individuals, and persons in the private sector to meet her, greet her, and be able to compliment her in her face. It's one thing to shower blessings on the telephone and send cards and have all these virtual things, but it's something completely different when you can take a picture with the person live and direct, and you can feel and you can say and you can make this level of connection. So this is what we're actually doing, and we are just hoping that we are able to attract a reasonable. The space that we are having it at Jungle Bay is limited, but we have tickets available, and the tickets are going for $300. And
$300 is plenty, not plenty to pay for an occasion like that, eh? Really?
No.
Yeah.
And we have a kind of a simple program, which is basically we have from 11 to 11:30 the meet and greet. Maybe taking out some photo ops and those type of things. Then somebody at Jungle Bay, the manager of Jungle Bay, will give the opening remarks. Then the president of the business forum, Daryl Bob, will also do some opening remarks, followed by Billy Doctor, the president of the Dominican Olympic Committee. Then persons will have the opportunity to give congratulatory messages and also to make pledges to a project that we have spoken to Fia about that she hopes to undertake, and we hope that we could raise some funds for that particular project and other projects. But basically what we really want, and after that we're actually going to have a Creole lunch, and this lunch at Jungle Bay, they have actually designed it not architecturally, but they have actually designed it for royalty.
Okay.
So it's a Creole lunch specially for Fia Lafont.
Not Fia, her husband. I'm sure her husband is not accustomed with all this local food, right?
Tim Fia.
Yes.
And I must say, we have from the time we contacted Fia and her husband about the activity, they were welcoming, and they have, sometimes you even feel that you're troubling them too much. So, for example,
but she deserves all these things. So, yeah, she when you achieve those things, you have to know that you're in the public eye, and people going to be after you. People want to see you, honestly.
Yeah. And so I mean, we just feel pleased that, and we're trusting that, people will understand what's the purpose of the activity. It is not sponsored, so which means we have to go through spend from the proceeds that we make from it. But we're hoping that we'll also be able to get the contributions, and people will be able to make pledges, and that the project and whatever project Thea hopes to undertake, she will continue to get the support of the private sector. And we, from the Dominica Business Forum, have already pledged our support to go through with her, because, it is a reign. Eh? She's reigning.
Mm-hmm.
She is the Olympic
till the next 4 years.
For the next 4 years.
Yes, yeah.
And our dream is that she will compete in 2028 with other young athletes that we have nurtured during and prepared throughout this 4-year period. And, the sky is the limit as far as Dominican athletes are concerned, in making sure that they participate. But one of the things I see that caught my attention really, and my admiration about Thea and her achievement, is the fact that I have seen so many people give up after 6 months of trying something.
Yeah.
Just 6 months. Yeah. And after the first thing, boy, I cannot take that. And to go through this thing and achieve it after 16 years, it tells a lot. And this is a lesson that we have to be able to teach our young people. Look, you have to be patient, you have to persevere, you have to put all the adjectives in place for you to be able to make it in life, because nothing comes easy.
You know, Sabra, what you need to do now, right? As you're on now, give the numbers. People can call right now if you need a ticket. Can you say numbers now? If somebody wants a ticket right now for this event, give your numbers so that people can call.
Yeah, if people want a ticket right now, they could call Daryl Bob at 235-7800, or they could call me, in fact, at 245-1294. Or they could go to the Comcy TV website. They could go to the Comcy TV website and they could purchase a ticket online. Or they could call my office tomorrow at 448-1941, or go to the Dominica Olympics Committee tomorrow, or to the Dominica Employers Federation. Or they could call Jungle Bay Resort and also make, so you could source your tickets over there.
Fia, are you looking forward to that event on Monday?
Absolutely. You know, this is something that we've kind of curated with the opportunity for people to come and have a more intimate, meeting and sit down and meet and greet event. Of course, a delicious lunch as provided by Jungle Bay. But more importantly, and dear to my heart, is the ability to give back, right? Like you said, you know that my life is not my own right now. The public is where I am. But it would be, to me, irresponsible to not only have this title as an ambassador, but to also have this visibility and not use it to help the next generation. And this is what it's about. All proceeds will go to the Theala Gadsden project, which is essentially just giving back in many ways to the youth of the country, investing in them the way I was able to be invested into, so that the next upcoming, Olympics and Olympians are taken care of from the ground up and right here on island. I do not want necessarily our athletes to have to leave to get an elite experience. We have so much talent here. We've got to curate it now.
Are you going to have a foundation, like something like the Fear Laughter Foundation? Are you hoping to have something like that?
Absolutely. We're actually we're talking about developing an LLC and just having something more permanent and official that we can constantly be raising funds for and allocate as needed.
Yeah, because you see, with your achievement now, I'm sure overseas people, even in the States, will want to make contribution, and you can use this fund to help develop youngsters in Dominica. It doesn't have to be only in athletics, like in scholarships, people go to school, because as you know, things are tight in Dominica. So it'd be good you can have some scholarships, Fear Laughter scholarships every year. People go to school, and that's why I urge people to come and support this thing on Monday. And not only that, not only Monday, here you have an Olympian. Give her as much as you can. She can help, because of her name, she can use her name out there to help promote youngsters there. Dr. Fountain, would you agree?
No, absolutely. I think that's where, to me, that's the real agency of what you've achieved, the ability to reach out and to help the young people in Dominica. And I know now there are many young girls and young boys dreaming to become an Olympian, because they now know it is possible. Before the Olympics was something out there, we watch it on television, but to know that one of our own can achieve, I think that to me is the most powerful thing. And being able to use that to reach out to the young people, I think is really, really powerful.
Fia, well, you, in terms of you starting back retraining, when do you hope to start back your training?
I hope to start back. Well, honestly, I've already started. My days are quite long. I was in the gym just this morning at like 6:45 a.m., just ensuring that I can get the workouts in and still make it to events like this. I am only one person, but I am trying. But so I'm back training, and I hope to be back on the track come early December. Actually, maybe even as early as later November when I get back to the States and get some scans done. But we're moving in the right direction.
For people listening out there, an athlete, I mean, somebody like you, in terms of when you're training, your diet and everything, to be able to go out and party, tell listeners out there about that, because I know it's tough for the athlete to prepare when you're preparing. What you do, your private life sometimes sometimes is not your own, right?
Yeah, I mean, you learn to sacrifice a lot of things. Sometimes it's the social aspect. Sometimes it's the nutrition aspect. I'm not eating this nice Creole lunch that we're going to serve on Monday every day, in season. I can't do that. But you're absolutely right. I'm very lean. I eat chicken, turkey, fruit, vegetables. That's pretty much it. And I very much so limit the going out. I don't do alcohol during the season. It messes up recovery. So little moments here and there, and prioritizing yourself. It takes a little bit of selfishness, to be honest, to just put yourself first and put your sport and your craft first. And I dare say that this, expands well into just life, not only just athletics, but there are certain times when you know you want some growth in your life, where you just gotta kind of trim the fat, no pun intended, and hone in on what's important, so that in the next month or two, you're in a better place than you are now.
Dr. Funke, you want to give the numbers in case callers want to interact with Fia on the program?
Yeah, sure. Okay, the numbers to call: 449-3095, 449-3096, 3097, and on the DG line 616-4257. We're opening the lines now if you want to come in and just call in and show your support for the event on the second, on the third, on the fourth, Monday the 4th at Jungle Bay. It's a big event hosted by the Dominica Business Forum. And of course, the guest of honor is Fia Lafont Gatson. Dominica is, of course, Olympics Golden Queen, the first for Dominica, and certainly a great thing. And it came, it's not easy because it took Dominica joined the Olympic Committee in 1993. So that's
well, you must say you were involved in that as well. You mustn't feel shy. Eh?
Yeah. Well, I'm glad I played a role in getting Dominica there. But see how long it took, for us to get to that point. So, it's a lot of hard work. It's a lot of commitment and dedication. And we cannot say enough, Thea, for your commitment and the dedication, to doing this, And so let's go. We have a caller. Caller, good evening.
Hello. Good evening. Hello. Good evening.
Caller, good evening. You are live. Please don't listen to your telephone. Good evening, caller. All right. Yes.
Well, one person we haven't heard tonight, the driving force, the man who really pushes Fia Lafont. Don't hold that for. We have a caller. We'll get to him just now. We don't have a caller? Anyway, yeah, we have a caller now, and we'll get to him just now. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Lander.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Thompson Fountain.
Yes.
Pierre Panel and Miss Fia Lafont. And her husband, Mr. Jackson. I just called to congratulate her and wish her all the best on the 3rd of November, all what she's getting and she's going to receive. She deserves it. That is the lady that lives in the community center, Alicia Reed of Pomkovic. I want to tell her good night and enjoy your stay in Dominica until you're ready to return. Once again, congratulations to you.
Okay, so right, Coach. We want to hear from you, man. People want to hear from you. Come on, don't be shy. You're the man. I mean, you have to be pushing her. If you weren't there, maybe she probably would have backed out long time, right? Come on, Coach. Let's hear you, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think that obviously, my support was really part of what she did. I mean, it was a team effort. She's really good at following directions, and I'm really good at giving directions. And I think that's really was really the secret behind that. But to give her a little bit more credit, I think I coach a bunch of people. I had three Olympians at this Olympics. She's the only Olympic champion that I coached, and I think part of the reason why is that she's always humble and she's always looking for a better way to get better. And so whenever I give her the type of feedback or criticism, she's always looking for a way to actually execute that and be better, as opposed to being defensive or not wanting to be held accountable and things like that. So that's really the secret.
Let's take a caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Shibo.
Hi, good evening.
And good evening, Mr. Lander, and good evening, Dr. Fountain.
Yeah, good evening.
And good evening to your wonderful, good evening to Mrs. Lafont and Mr. Jackson.
Good evening.
Mrs. Lafont, I want to congratulate you on your outstanding achievement after you said it took 17 years. I doubt these young people will take 17 years to practice. Anyway, it's good encouragement. And I want to say on behalf of the students in Dominica, because I'm a teacher, I mention your name to them almost every single day. Even today, I ask them, who is the only person who's going to receive the highest honor on Sunday? And they gave me the answer. They said Fia Lafont. So it means that we're getting somewhere. Congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Coach, let me ask you, what does a normal training day look like with Fia? When do you start and how does it go? A normal training day with Fia?
So a normal training day would be, usually she'll lift in the morning. So her lift would probably consist of maybe like an hour 15 of work in the morning, probably around, 8 to 9 o'clock. And then, she's always going to come get something to eat, maybe get some good rest in. But then we'd have a practice in the evening. Usually, probably honestly, 2.5 hours of practice. And so we do that about four days a week, where we'd have kind of a lift in the morning, training in the afternoon. But there are a couple of other days that are called active recovery days. So those are days where we might be biking, we might be in the pool, we might be doing body weight calisthenic circuits and things like that. And then on Sunday, she has just a full day of like total rest.
Okay.
6 days a week.
6 days a week.
Yes, sir.
Wow. I mean, this is tough. I mean, that's why when people see you achieve something like that, they mustn't think that it only came on the night, on the day.
Exactly.
Because it's the work behind the scenes. I mean, there's a lot of work. Several tell me, I mean, this event is not going to be a one-off thing. I'm sure you will collaborate with FIA and have other events down the road.
Well, what we are really looking at is to establish a relationship. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Go on, Severin.
Got a sneak peek of the menu there, man. That's supposed to be a secret.
Yeah.
By the way, that's all. We've been joined by Emmanuel Leblanc. Good night, Lobby.
Good night. How are you doing?
All right, good. Okay.
Good
Go ahead,
night, Sia.
Severin.
How are you? How is Sia doing?
Well, she's right there. She's seeing you.
Well. Hi, Lovi.
How is the knee? How is the knee?
It's doing well. We're healing well. We're healing very well. I'm
over
grateful.
10. What do you give over 10?
Out of 10, it's a 7. We're getting there.
That's good.
We're getting there.
Good to hear. That's good to hear.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
Severin.
So let me see what we really want to do is to set up the platform where young people, particularly, can see a future. Those with sporting abilities can see a future in excelling in sports.
Mm-hmm.
Because I personally am not a sportsman. My field has always been in culture.
Yes.
Culture,
Right.
But I sports for me is really looking at it, not really participating in it. But you sometimes you get a bit frustrated when, for example, teams perform badly, and somebody say, "Oh, they did well," almost confident that they did well. You did not do well if you failed. You understand where I'm coming from? Mm-hmm. And as I said before, one of the things about the achievement of FIA is the persistence and the hard work that she actually put in this thing and not giving up, because this was not her first Olympic.
Mm-hmm.
This was your first, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So which means she tried the first time.
Mm-hmm.
She tried the second time. And then the third time she succeeded with the maximum. How many athletes actually have the patience and tolerance and the perseverance to go through this regime and to go for it? And this, I think, if we can instill in our young people to make them understand that, it is not an easy road. But I think you have a caller.
Yeah. Good evening, caller.
Hello, good evening.
Hi.
The rest of
How
the
are you?
family.
Good
I want
night.
to congratulate Sia and her husband. But what I really call to say, Sia had to be a very disciplined person and very persistent. You know what I say that, Lobby? Not Lobby,
Sibo.
Sibo. For your coach to be your husband, it's not easy, Just like when you want to learn to drive, and you ask your husband to teach you, what it is, Sibo?
Yes.
Sometimes you stop driving and you get somebody else to teach you,
Yeah.
Because that husband wants you to be perfect. Then you do this. So I congratulate her on that. She had to be very persistent and I'm putting obedient behind her. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you. In terms of endorsement, how has the winning the gold medal changed your life in terms of sponsors?
Jeez, good question. Okay, so I am officially sponsored. My main sponsor is Adidas. And I can tell you what I can tell you. I am under contract. So some of it I cannot touch.
Okay.
But I will let you know that I received, how much was it from World Athletics? 50,000 USD immediately from World Athletics, and more than that from Adidas for winning, plus an extra bonus for being ranked number 1 in the world at the end of this year. So that has been quite significantly life-changing. And if I thought that was great, I also returned home and got a very kind, the 400,000 EC
from Dominica,
from Dominica, which is also life-changing. And on top of that, of course, the land in Warner, which we are hoping to build a home on very soon. And
so you're going to take your husband home to Dominica, right?
The husband has a Dominican passport, so he come in, okay? Okay. So it really has been, this year has really truly, I always say it's made me be, it's really just been a game changer, and I'm grateful for the sponsorships are amazing. But honestly, it's the best part is now being able to be in a position where I can give back and help others give back. That's what I want.
Good.
Yeah, and I just also wanted to kind of point out, I think the support from not even just the government, but also other local businesses. For instance, National Bank of Dominica gave her a very generous gift.
That's true.
We've been meeting with a lot of other, folks. Discover Dominica is also, wanting to partner with her, as well as some other, local things that we could talk about a little bit later once we finalize them. But Dominica is obviously a small country, but there's a lot of pride. There's a lot of patriotism, and people love Thea and they want to be connected with her, and so we're really happy, and we're really proud of how everybody have come together and support us, and we're very grateful for that.
Lobby, I'm sure you want to. I know. I know you want to talk. Go ahead, Lobby. Go on. Come on. We're not hearing you, Lobby.
Sorry. It's better now?
All right. Yeah. Go on. Yeah.
Yes. Just again, just want to congratulate Thea, for being successful. You all, being involved in the sport in Dominica for years. All right. I've come across tremendous talented athletes who are just not in the field of sport, but also academically, very smart athletes. And one of the things that have eluded us in this country is a track. All right. I never believed in a track. I never thought that in the 12 of my years that the other islands in the OECS would have passed me. Because one of the things that we used to have before, we used to have the OECS games. That is where people like Jerome emerged from, Bruce Phillip, Stephen Eger. All right. We have always produced stream. We have a small island, but tremendous talent. And I can tell you that over the years, one of the things that I have done and continue doing, not just encourage the athletes, not just with your talent, but do well at school. That's number one. Encourage them to do the SAT exam very early. All right, you're a very good sprinter, a good jumper. You get at the junior Carista games. That is where you have tremendous scouts from colleges in the US, and there you can market yourself. But you have to always do well at school. Not just being an athlete, but you have to do well at school. There's a life after sport. It's not easy. And I am happy that Alfred, where she has come from again, Alfred, Thea, they all came from the Caribbean Games. They all competed at the Junior Caribbean Games. All right, and I would have, St. Lucia, Grenada, St. Vincent, all the islands, Antigua, they all have track. I mean, and we continue, all right, to continue to suffer. I don't know when. I just don't know when. But it's not easy for the athletes. It's just not easy to be training in the gardens where I live in Dominica. It's just not easy. And yet still we were able to produce a few sprinters. For example, here you must have heard about Luan Gabriel. All right, who have, she returned home. Where can she train? Tremendous talent. All have fallen by the wayside, and she's not the only one. Look, for example, Grenada. You look at Peters the javelin. We have produced gold medalists at the Caribbean Games in the javelin. Where have we gone? What has happened to us? All right. So the talent is there, but I can tell you, we need a track. It's very
Let me
important.
hold on a while. Fear, somebody just said, can you ask Fear about the role of the media in developing athletes in terms of preparing them for the big stage, helping to speak in public, etc.? If she feels media houses in Dominica need to ensure that sports forms part of the programming and they shouldn't just wait for when good news comes.
Okay, that's a very good question. And I often am asked, am I media trained because of how I interact? I am not. I have a mother that was an anchor on mapping, so maybe I have a little up and up, right? Yeah. But I do think that once you start seeing a young person with extreme potential, let's say that they have qualified for their first Carifta Games, I believe at that point is when you start to give them some media guidance, right? These interviews are going to start. And I'm only using athletics because it is what I'm the closest to. But the same thing happens to when someone makes their first national team for cricket or football or basketball or volleyball. I think you need to have a day where someone maybe comes in and explains to them, hey, you're going to be asked questions. We need to ensure that this is how you interact with the camera and the media, and at least practice, because it's not easy. A lot of people, public speaking is difficult, but when you put a camera and it becomes international speaking, it becomes a different game, right? And so introducing the young people to this, I think is very important. And you also don't want to be perceived as, for lack of better terms, a dumb jock, right? You don't want to just be good at what you're doing on the field and not have a true presence, because once you are officially on a team and you're representing Dominica in some capacity, you are officially also representing your country in that full capacity. And it then becomes what I believe your duty to represent them well on the field and off. So when you open your mouth, you have to sound good.
That's one of the major deficiencies we have in our sports people. They're very talented, but they are mentally limited. And I think this is one of the strengths that you have here. You are talented, but you are mentally strong. The way you speak, the way you present yourself is very, very important. You've gotten several awards, and you'll be getting the highest award in Dominica on Sunday. On Monday, the private sector is going to give you an award. But what I would like to see happening with you is that you get an appointment as a sports ambassador. So you can go out there and represent Dominica, given your brilliance, represent Dominica and project Dominica in any opportunity that you get.
No, I appreciate that for sure. And I do believe I may have to take the official oath as an ambassador. I was given the title of International Sports Ambassador. So I am, yes, on my soapbox already, as you state. But you're right. It is a passion of mine. I have always taken it seriously, and I look forward to continue doing so.
Because in one paragraph, you can say so many good things about Dominica and influence persons to come to Dominica.
Thank you. That's a power. It's a superpower for sure.
Tom, so you want to say something?
No, I just want to remind our listeners again that this event is happening on the 4th of November
at Jungle Bay.
And that there's an opportunity to participate. It is still open for persons wanting to meet personally with Fear. You get a chance. I understand you get a chance to take a photograph.
Yes, absolutely.
With Fear, and also to chat and interact with in a very informal, nice setting, and that is topped up by a very good lunch, so we just want to encourage people to go serve. Can you give us the numbers again that people can actually reach out? And
okay, so you could call 448-1941. In fact, if people want to call tonight, right here and
pledge,
and
pledge and
you can actually do that. Or if you want to get a ticket, you could do that right here tonight. But you could. We are 235-7800. That's Daryl Bob. 448-1941. And that's myself. That's my office. Or 245-1294. Or you could go to the ComC TV website, where you could actually purchase a ticket online. Or you could also email DBF Inc. 2020 DBF Inc. 2020 darylbob@gmail.com or darylbob@gmail.com. Or you could purchase the tickets at the Dominica Olympic Committee office in Baffin State, at the office of the Dominica Employers Federation on Hillsborough Street, also at Big Edge on Hillsborough Street, or at Max Services on Virgin Lane. So there are quite a number of outlets that you could actually get tickets. The only thing about it is that the tickets are limited, space is limited. So you have to hurry, call, and make your reservation because there are limited number of tickets available.
And
because
that's
it's not a mass activity. It's just that we just want to have a nice
on the menu. Any info on the menu?
You really want to get the menu? The menu is, the menu is...
you really want to disclose that now?
I didn't know. Are we disclosing it? I thought it was a secret.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm just going to give him a teaser.
A teaser. Don't give me a full menu.
It's a 5-course meal with 1, A, deconstructed salad, A, B, appetizers, C, entree, accompaniments, desserts.
But a time like that is really time for people to enjoy themselves. And
everything is Creole.
I hope you got a special chef by the way, Sefre. And did you do that?
Jungle Bay.
They have special.
Those who have been to Jungle Bay know that Jungle Bay is like Thea. They go for the goal.
Yeah.
And this is why they're actually preparing a meal for royalty.
And once again, I just want to remind you one more time, that is Monday, the 4th of November, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Please come. Let's have a conversation. Let's take some pictures. Let's talk about the future of our athletes. I want this to be an event where you feel comfortable to have a conversation, and a place where it's even just open to just interact, and a way for me to say thank you for your support too.
I like what you say about, let's talk about the future of our athletes, and that's very important. If all the good time, we must remember that it's the athletics that have brought you there.
Absolutely.
So it's important that we discuss what's happening to, if we're going to get somebody like Fiala for, maybe not in 4 years, in 8 years or 12 years, and it has to start now, preparing them, right?
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely. Because the idea is that I may have been the first, but I do not want to be the last.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want it to also take another 16 years, right? Mm-hmm. And if someone does get produced in 16 years, I don't want it to just be one person.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where we start, our grassroots, our real foundation of nurturing, elite athletics on island.
Good. Lobby, I see you trying to say something. Lobby, you're muting your mic.
Seriously, I'm not listening to Fear. She speaks about the future. But you know that, Sebastian, we done a track. This is what that has eluded me for years in this country. I don't know what that's a track. As a track coach, my life has been given in this country, and I've produced a lot of athletes that have gone beyond. And you can talk about grass, you can talk about these things. You need a track. This will catapult the sports to greater heights.
Well, let me say to you, hold on a while. In August, when Fia won the medal, we were when she won the Olympic gold, we were told that by August next year we'll have a track. So let's wait. That's what I'm saying. You remember there was a public statement like that, eh? We were told so. So let us wait. We're in November almost. We haven't seen any movement. So let us hope we see that happening next year. You understand, Lobby?
What, Sebastian?
You heard what I said?
I am not Bob Hope, This thing about Hope. You have to be ready. You have to be realistic, Sebastian.
I have spoken to Fia a few times. And I'm meeting her for the first time tonight. And I'm enthused with her personality. So I encourage as many Dominicans as possible to come out on the 4th to meet Thea and shake her hand and greet her and give her an acknowledgement for how she has represented Dominica at the highest level.
No, but the only problem with that, you said that many with several say there's limited space for Monday.
Like people, we want people to get their tickets.
First come, first serve.
Yeah.
Please buy your tickets. It's first time, first serve. We will have tickets available until Sunday because Jungle Bay has to cater.
But people don't have to come. You can just make a contribution. Some people you can pay and don't, even if you don't come, but at least make your contribution.
Absolutely.
But we just want people to come. Some of the organizations that we want to send a special invitation to. In fact, we have invited them through the Dominican Olympics Association, the various sporting organizations, and we would really like to see a representation of each sport, particularly those who are affiliates of the Dominican Olympics Committee. So we are hoping that they will come forward and they will be represented also at the activity, because this is almost an activity one.
And Sports Rap should be represented as well.
Sports Rap must be represented.
Sports
That's
Rap.
why we
SIBO Sports Rap must be
On
represented.
Monday, right? Monday
On
afternoon.
Monday.
Monday morning.
At what time?
Monday.
Monday, 11 a.m.
AM.
to 2:30 p.m. 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. We will see you there.
Right. Well, guys, we're coming to the end of the discussion. Let's just hear your final comments. Sevre, Fia will have the last word. So we go first to the husband, then Sevre, and then Fia. Right.
So first of all, I just want to thank you guys for having us on here. I'm really excited about, this event coming up on Monday. I think that, really quick story. I mean, the first time I learned about Dominica was from Jerome Romaine, because when I was competing, he was a coach at a rival school.
Okay.
And he told me stories about what he used to do in high school, and I just was blown away by the talent. And I thought it sounded like a myth to me. And so I know Dominica has a ton of talent, and if we can get, the right support, we can nurture this talent, there's going to be many, many more medalists in the future.
Before Sevre, are you a Maryland kid? No? Or Texas kid? Which one?
I grew up in Boston, but we live in Maryland now.
Oh, you live in, okay. All right. Sevre?
Yeah. Boston is my U.S. home. That's where my kids go to school.
Yeah.
Yes, I just want to appeal to as many Dominicans as possible to support the effort of the private sector, because not everything that can be left for the public sector or for government, there are certain things that the private sector can get involved in. And I believe this is an opportunity for the private sector to actually step up and show their support to FIA, and also something that can, in fact, be sustainable. And it is not difficult to do. The only thing that we have to do is come together, plan. For example, she wants to get this sporting facility off the ground. We can give her the support, maybe from the architects, from the private offices, those type of things. But that's all. That's what we want to say, and we just want to encourage people to please call the numbers at 4481941 or 235-7800, or email dbfinc2020@gmail.com, or you could go to the Dominica Olympics Committee in Bath State, to the office of the Dominica Employers Federation on Hillsborough Street or Big Edge, or you could even call Jungle Bay to make a reservation to be part of this activity on Monday at 11 o'clock till 2:30 p.m.
Thank you.
And I just want to thank you, Sibo, for giving us the opportunity.
Anytime.
And also, let me thank Sphere.
Well, sure, you have to thank you.
Sphere and Aaron for the support, in collaborating with us. In fact, I felt when I sent a reminder this afternoon to tell him, don't forget 6:30. I did it kind of.
You were nervous.
No, I did it reluctantly. I say, boy, we're really pushing this.
And when they hear that, it's for her. And like I say, when in the public,
it's for Dominica. It's for Dominica.
Yeah. Fia, your final words.
I just want to say, first of all, thank you for having us in this evening. It is always a joy, true joy to be here. And to the people out there, I just invite you to support the next generation, the next Olympians, the next medalists of our country. This is how it starts. We will hopefully have a track soon, hopefully have some facilities building in Maho. And I'll also discuss more on this topic on Monday at Jungle Bay from 11 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. All right. So thank you very much. You have a blessed evening, and I hope to see you there.
And tell your dad, don't tell him Sibo, tell your dad for me. Yeah? Dorian,
Daddy, if you're listening,
yeah, that's
probably listening.
Don't tell him Sibo.
Sibo says hi.
Yeah. All right. So,
thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it. You had the queen here with us, the lady herself, and we're asking everybody on Monday morning to be at Jungle Bay. Have a good time. It's going to be a good time. It's a time for people to do this. How I say it in local, large, man. Just go and have a good time. Eat food, eat as much as you can, dance,
but,
drink, whatever you want, you can.
And importantly, Sibo, it's the morning after.
Right, exactly. Right. So go have a good time, man.
The morning after Thea gets
Yeah.
the highest honor of the land, which is Dominica Award of Honors.
Yes, man. So thank you very much again on behalf of What's Right Fear. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Enjoy yourself, your husband, before you go back.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good
Thank
night.
you. Thank you. Good night. So on that note, we're going to take a break now. Thank you. Thank you. Let's take a break. Yeah.
Looking for a quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Have business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@portersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Porter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
We're back, and after this big conversation with Fear, we move to another sport now. So we're going, at least for 15 minutes, we're going to be talking some volleyball. And we have two coaches there with us. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hi, good night. My name is Aitomo James, and I have been the assistant volleyball coach for the Dominican national senior team.
My name is Brian Galbraith, and I've been co-coaching with Aitoma with the national team. I'm from Canada, and I've been here since the beginning of June and working with the team and the Volleyball Association in general, in terms of not just the men's national team, but the women's program and some youth and also upcoming some coaching development.
So do you go around the island to do to schools, or does with the association?
We haven't done that during this time. During the summer months, though, we ran some youth camp 3 times a week in the month of August out of Massac. So that's basically been our contact with the younger group. I was also involved with the inter-school program when we first arrived to work with their development and their process in selecting their teams. And unfortunately, that competition was canceled at the end of June.
Okay, you guys just came from Antigua, where you took part in the Eastern Caribbean volleyball competition. You barely lost the final. Would I say that? I mean, you had the chance to win that tournament. Tell us about the tournament. Both of you all can speak.
Yeah, well, the tournament was a very good experience for us and for the players. For me, that was the first time actually participating in the tournament as a coach. I have been representing the country for a few years as a player, and this is my first time there as a coach. It was a very good experience for me. I think the guys did a very good job. They had a very good showing, especially if you look at the results that we had in the previous time that we participated. It's a big step up from where we were, and we like the fact that we have a lot of young players, and I can only see us getting better because with experience, with some time, continued practice, we can at least have a better accomplishment. But nothing to say that what we did this time wasn't a very good result, because the guys really did well, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. But hopefully next time we can get the gold.
What do you think went wrong during the tournament that you all, in the final game, you all didn't get across the line?
Well, I mean, there's a combination of different things, but at the end of the day, I think the guys just ran out of a little bit of steam. And at the time when we expected to play our best game, we had unfortunately not produced our best performance, and that played a part in us not being able to take the championship.
Yes, so in terms of the looking forward, you just came from that comment, but what is the next big thing for the association?
Well, in terms of the national team, I think the way the regional tournaments are hosted, you have one senior tournament 1 year, and then the following year you have a youth tournament. The good thing about our team is about 70% of our team are still at that youth age. So we would still be able to participate with the same set of players, or at least the same core of players would be able to participate in that tournament. So we do hope to keep them together and see how much that we can continue training with them, so that we can be better prepared for the under-23 tournament, which should be held next year. We are not exactly sure when that will be, but the intention is to try to keep them together and keep them training. With the local league starting soon, we should see these players continue training, continue playing with their clubs, and at least be competing, so that there will be no big lull between them practicing now and coming out to train for the senior national team, well, the under-23 team.
Yeah, and to you, Coach, you've been in Dominica since June. What are some of the major challenges you've identified in terms of the development of the sport here in Dominica?
Well, from the months of June and July in particular, we didn't have access to the indoor court with Massac, and so therefore training at on a consistent basis, whether it was weather or whether it was events at the stadium that would kind of thwart our training or our training times, was probably the biggest challenge. Obviously, financially, it's a challenge to get the athletes and travel and that kind of thing, because they're all working. And So that became a bit of an issue. But in all honesty, those were small things. I really was very impressed with the dedication and commitment and enthusiasm of the athletes to train hard, sometimes in adverse conditions, and I think it was a testament to their desire that kind of determined what our success was when we went to the tournament.
Lobby, I see your hands up. You want to ask a question, eh?
Yes. Listening to the coach, he spoke about the indoor facility. All right. Was it possible, coach, to get your players to train in the morning? Would there be in the morning in terms of getting time off for them?
I don't think that was very possible because the majority of our athletes were working in jobs during the day, and that goes back to my previous comment. What they would generally have to do would be to work during the day, get off work at 6. We would start training at 6:30. We would train for 2.5, 3 hours, and then they would have to sometimes go back and travel, say, to Marigot and get home at 11 o'clock or midnight, and then get up and work again the next day. So it wasn't really possible to train in the mornings because of that scenario. But it would certainly, if we started to establish kind of a younger age group and developmental process of say the 15, 16, 17-year-old kids on the island, I think that would definitely be a legitimate option to take a look at, trying to train maybe before they go to school in the mornings.
But my question is, coach, is that in terms of getting time off, because I speak about like being in Dominica and working with the national team, working with my teams, trying to get time off for them, time off to see whether it is twice a week or once a week. All right, twice or once a week. All right, that's just for the future. That is for the future. If in terms of you have one indoor facility, and in terms of something can be done, some arrangement can be done, even though it's once a week, to facilitate the team, whether it's possible for the players to get time off to do a morning session. That's in terms of if it's 10, 11 o'clock but whether it would be possible. But that is just for the association to look at. Another question is, you're looking at our national team, listening to the coach in terms of the players, the final game. I don't know if in terms of a matter of fitness, the matter the fitter team end up winning. I may be right, I may be wrong. Was this a problem? Was it the team who won was fitter than Dominica at the end?
I don't think necessarily it is a fitness issue. I know you have sometimes the little mental fatigue, you have the crowd, you have the environment. Remember, like I said, it's a pretty young team. This is their first time. Probably about 7 out of our 9, 10 players were rookies. So this is their first time really competing at that stage, at that level. And sometimes, the environment, everything can get to them at some point. So, I mean, when you expect it to fight back or put that little fight in, that little extra, maybe, that they were not able to just bounce back as well as we expected them to. But there's nothing to take away, like I said, from their accomplishment, because this is their first time. Like I said, we had an entire team pretty much of rookies, besides our captain and one of our other players.
Yeah, I think my general assessment of the final shouldn't really be discussed too much before talking about how we started and how we progressed as the tournament went on. I felt we started off a little slow, a little I'll call it jittery with our first match, and I think from there we just progressively got better and better and more focused and more attuned to what was expected to be successful. And we won 5 matches in a row. After in the final, it was definitely an interesting situation. It was a good environment. It was noisy. It was really something that I hope the athletes would enjoy and relish, and I think they did. And the third and fourth set in volleyball, sometimes there's ebbs and flows, and we struggled a little bit and probably played our two worst sets of the tournament during that time. And anytime during those two sets that I thought we were going to make some traction and start to work our way back, something strange would happen or a different call that again, I think with our youth and our lack of experience, we probably just didn't handle it as well as we could have to try to get back on track.
Coach, let me ask you, do you go like around the island if the club help work with the different clubs in the island?
I didn't do that during this stint. No.
Will you be doing that?
The majority of the time, the athletes were traveling and coming to me for both the women's and the men's program. So there were vans, and they were traveling from Marigot, from Portsmouth, when we were scheduling our practice times, and they were coming to me. Is it possible to take a look at doing something like that with the program that has been established, or definitely, I think there's certainly room for that type of situation to occur.
How long will you be in Dominica for?
I'm gone in the middle of this month.
So it was only a 6 months stint?
6 month stint, yes.
So you think that's sufficient to really do what you wanted to do?
Well, I think that you need to have and want to have somebody who's going to be coaching ideally year round on the island. The situation that presented itself with the international grant that was received by the International Volleyball Federation to DAVA enabled me to be here during this time, and I fortunately had the time, and my wife had the time to be able to come here to make that commitment, and so I think the initial situation is kind of the first step to hopefully continuing some progress, because I think we made some good progress with our athletes, young and old, and I think it's just kind of the foundation and a building block to hopefully continue the progress, and certainly as Itoma mentioned, the future's bright with the number of young players that are here to probably be representing Dominica for the under 23, and then also representing the country in the future senior tournaments as well.
I'm sure you have a report to write. So what are some of the recommendations would you be making when you leave here?
Yeah, I'll be making a bit of a report with respect to my time here and our time collectively. And as far as recommendations go, everything's in a lot of ways it's centered on finances and having people available and human resources available to be able to do the things that are required. The physical and the facilities are also a bit of an issue that needs to be talked about and discussed. But I think in general the association has to try to maybe make a direction towards developing the youth, so that it just gets you need a bigger pool of athletes who are playing the sport, and in order to compete at an elite level and try to have some success at an elite level, it's kind of like a bottleneck approach, where the more athletes you have, and then you start trying to develop and identify a few of the elite ones who can be training at a high level and where you have higher expectations of them and their time demands, and hopefully ideally for some of the athletes, there's possibilities to move on, whether it's North America, maybe Europe, or whatever the case is, if they feel they could get to that level, and if they believe they have a chance and they work hard at it, there's certainly possibilities in that way.
Can you mention some of the outstanding players in the last tournament and what positions that they played in?
Okay, so before I answer your question, I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank the Dominica Olympic Committee, as all of this training and all of these things that we have been able to accomplish is really, a lot of it is owed to their financing. they've been able to provide us with the financing to be able to transport the players to and from practice, and also to assist us with Coach Brian too. I mean, they have done a tremendous job, and their contribution towards us trying to develop youth in volleyball has really been tremendous. So we just want to take the opportunity to thank them. In terms of our players, though, we had two players who won awards in the tournament, and they were named the two best middle blockers of the tournament. We had Bill Clark Frederick and Ethan Boland. They were both in the top two players in the middle blocking position. We also had our captain, Jan Flora, who was one of the main attackers, one of the top scorers. He just missed out on being the best attacker or best scorer in the tournament. We have players like Mervyn Mingo, who was the libero, a very good defensive player. We can add the fact that both Bill and Mervyn are beach volleyball partners who won the youth tournament over the summer.
Recently,
yeah, so they won the gold. They are both players on the team also, and should be traveling to El Salvador, I think, next weekend to participate in another tournament, which we hope can help them build their experience so that they can go on to bigger things. We hope that they do well, and we're just looking out for best for them. But we have some really good players on the team, some good young players. I think Larion Tula is another one of our good players that we have really a big future in. So we look forward to his development and just how well that he can come in the time to come.
Well, gentlemen, it was really nice having you guys, and I hope that we can have you all at some point again. I mean, Coach, I don't think we'll see you again. You say you're leaving soon. I hope you had a good time in Dominica. You enjoyed yourself.
Absolutely. My wife and I thoroughly enjoyed our time here. She went back a little bit earlier and stayed, and we were able to visit the island and do some hiking and see all the sights and sounds of the beautiful island and beautiful nature island of Dominica. I actually had to go back home for a short period of time, and I did a presentation to the team that I used to coach back home, the university team, and did a presentation and showed them a little bit about the island and also a little bit about the volleyball and the passion and desire that's here. And they provided us with some equipment and some shoes and knee pads and material for me to bring back, which was awesome for not only our national team players, but for some of the youth as well. So we've been able to share that. My time has been outstanding. I've made some lifelong friends, and it's enjoyable. And I certainly hope to have maybe more opportunities to be involved in the future.
Well, come again. All I can say is come again.
We certainly want to thank you. Thank you for your contribution to the development of the sport here in Dominica. We certainly value your contribution, and the guys rewarded you based on the competition that we saw. So we want to thank you for everything that you did for Dominica, and we hope you'll be back someday soon. And of course, thank you as well for your continued involvement in the sport and for the continued development of volleyball in Dominica. Thank you both.
Okay. Thank guys. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yes, so we just spoke to the coach and Itoma James, two of from the Volleyball Association. Dominica just failed to win the championship. And there's a caller. Let's have the caller. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Good evening.
Yeah.
Good evening.
You hearing me?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, Muko, go ahead.
As the coach of the volleyball, about prospect of the players.
Mm-hmm.
We had no problem to answer.
Oh,
the last time when I asked the coach.
The athlete, you mean last week? But you have a good memory, man. You have a good memory. Anyway, we're going to take a break now. Thanks, Muko. Thanks. Let's take a break.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Looking for a quiet, relaxing place to stay? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Have business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@pottersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Porter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
Yeah, we are back. Good evening on the final stretch, and we're going to talk about cricket. Yeah, Ronald.
Yes. Let me again take this opportunity to commend our sponsors, Rudolph Thomas and Sons and ACS. Without those two major sponsors, we would not have a sports wrap program. So I'm appealing to our supporters, our fans, that whenever you go to shop, please give priority to those two major sponsors, Rudolph Thomas in Portsmouth and ACS in Roseau. Thank you very much.
Dr. Fountain, you all wanted to know the other people. I see there, Martin Charles is getting an award for diplomacy and sports. Can you imagine that? Martin Charles. You know, Martin Charles is an ambassador in China. He's still the chairman of the Aid Bank in Dominica. How does that work? I do not know. And he's getting an award for sports. I didn't know Martin Charles involved in sports at all.
He used to be a referee.
Yeah.
A referee, FIFA referee. Yeah.
My goodness.
So
and diplomacy.
I'm Sebastian.
Hold on, look, you ever call out? That's yeah. Good evening. Hello.
Good evening, gentlemen. I'm Ronald Charles here. I'm not sure if I called too late.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to inform the general public that the Dominica Cycling Association will be participating in the Caribbean Championship that will be held in Guyana from the 31st to the 4th. They left Ireland today. They have reported that they have arrived safely. They'll be taking part in the Caribbean Championships. About 20 countries will be participating across the region, including Bermuda, including Jamaica, Trinidad, and of course the host country, Guyana. All the OECS countries will be participating. The track will be about 100 miles. So we're wishing Koaf all the best. He has graduated. He's no longer under 23. Okay. He'll be participating in the elite category because that is the stage he's at. So we wish him well, and we wish the team well. He's also accompanied by his coach, Levi Barron, and of course the General Secretary of the Dominica Cycling Association, Mr. Desmond Prosper. So I wanted to say that. I also wanted to just touch base on the grassroots program that we're doing. We're happy to also announce that we had a session about 2 weeks ago with some young people. We have a few bikes that we still have to give out. And the energy is high. The Solidarity program is moving on. And we continue. Well, we had a small breakthrough in the festival and, of course, the independence because we believe safety is first. And we know that the road is inundated with a lot of vehicles. And in the circumstances, we tend to advise our riders that they should stay away from the road and try and, let the season cool off, and then we'll be back on the road. We have 3 potential junior. We have one Haitian kid who is very, very promising, Mr. Giddens. And of course, we have a 15-year-old from Trafalgar who seems to be the next person, the next Coav Barrett. So we know our best, and we have 2 young ladies who are going to get enrolled in the program. So we're looking forward to having a wonderful 2025, because that is in preparation for 2025. And we expect to see that developmental program manifest itself into bigger things to happen for the Dominica Cycling Association. And of course, we continue to thank all those who made it possible, especially the Dominica Olympic Committee and all our sponsors all around. One of our major sponsors will be receiving some award for independence, Miss Cheryl Rule from Sagico. Of course, she always have supported cycling, so we wish her, best and congratulations to her. God bless, and thank you for the opportunity. Dr. Fountain is in the house, so I want to just not single out anybody, but I just want to say good evening.
Okay, the same Ronald Charles.
And the next Prime Minister of Dominica. Thank you.
Same Ronald Charles.
Thank you,
Guys, West Indies 49 without loss, chasing 209. Guys, let's talk a little cricket. First, we have a caller. Good evening.
Yes, good evening, Sibo.
Hey, what's up, man?
Yes, and I'm good evening, Dr. Fountain.
Yes, good evening.
Mr. Lander.
And your boy Lobby is there too, eh?
Oh, sorry, Lobby. Good evening, brother. How are you?
Yeah, Lobby's there.
I'm fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right. Well, Sibo, you started off with that thing about the awards and you want to go to cricket and so on, but I have something to say.
Go ahead, say what you have to say, my brother.
About the awards. On sometime last week, I happened to be somewhere in Roseau, and a gentleman he's somebody I had some sort of relationship with, and when I say relationship, I mean, we spoke not on a very...
No, careful, when you say a gentleman, you have relations. Careful how you say that, eh? Anyway, go ahead.
Well, yes. And he was just looking for somebody to complain about the awards. Okay? He came and sat down beside me, and I'm almost sure he didn't know who he sat by, and was speaking up. And he's a recipient of the Cicero Award.
Right.
And he's mad about the fact that Reggie Austri, because he mentioned that so many times, Reggie Austri got Dominica Award of Honor. And he told me that if there's somebody he was not happy about when the list of people come, he's going to take his award back to the president. He also told me something that I did not know. He told me that when you get a meritorious award or upwards, you are supposed to get a state funeral. I did not know that at all. Okay? I maybe would have to research it, or somebody would have to research it too. But that gentleman was not happy about people getting awards. I even mentioned when I stopped believing in the awards, people getting awards, when I heard some years ago a gentleman getting a meritorious award for putting all his children through school with a cutler. I mean, that really made me just lost faith in the award, because you're basically, that's what you're saying. They are watering down the award. The Labour Party has been watering down the award. He told me he's a Labourite. The man told me he's a Labourite, and he's not. And he says a lot of things. I started taping it at some point, but I just cannot find it.
Okay.
I just cannot call his name because I.
Don't call him. Don't call him. Don't call him.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So that is something I believe that needs to be re-looked at and start giving people who are worthy of our awards. Because when my father got the Cicero Award of Honor in '83, that was for credit union work. And I can remember.
But wasn't he a PS as well? Your father was a PS, right?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
I can remember my father going overseas a lot of times for credit union work. When my mother died, the World Council of Credit Unions sent a card to my father. Okay? And that's to show you how much my father was involved in credit unions. So I believe, yes, that the awards are being watered down, and maybe in a few years, because you're giving so many people who don't deserve it award, and you're missing out on the people who really deserve it. And at some point, there will not be anybody to give awards. You know, and maybe you start to give Haitians our good enough.
Thank you. By the way, I want to say congratulations to Gerald Cobbett. I think he's getting an award as well. Congratulations, my brother. Yeah, let's go to the Windwards. Lobby, did you see the game? Windwards against Guyana?
Sebastian.
Uh-huh.
Yes, I didn't see it, but something I want to say.
What's that? Go ahead.
It is just, bugging my mind.
Uh-huh.
It has to do with the omission of Kevin Hodge. First of all, I can understand an individual who has been representing West Indies in Test cricket. He played in Australia. He was from in England. And I can understand why is Kevin Hodge has been omitted. You brought in Joe Will from Antigua, who hasn't played any international cricket, and you have left out Kevin Hodge. That's what I can understand.
You're talking about in the one-day team, in the ODI team?
Just been left out. Yes, and I can't understand at all.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that is why the nonsense that goes on in West Indies now, where they have no selectors, it's just a big rubbish, honestly. I'll tell you straight. And you're going to have a lot of nonsense going on in team selection. I'll tell you straight, it's just nonsense. West Indies right now is badly governed, just like Dominica, the West Indies cricket board, honestly. We have a caller. Let's take the caller. Hold on. Yeah, it's real nonsense. But, talk about the Windward Islands, it was a good victory from 58 for 5. Oh, the caller is there. Good evening.
Hey, good evening, Shibo.
Hi, how are you doing?
Dr. Thompson Funkin.
Yes, sir.
And the man that asked me to pick Patwa there.
Quail.
And my partner, Lou Black.
Okay, ça va faire bien.
More bien. Something I want to ask you there, Shibo, because it's important for many years it's in me, and I don't want to say permission because I was once right talking. I don't have an idea. Shibo, when you left school, you come and work on the port with us in town. That's right?
I work with custom there, yeah.
Yeah, no, I can't, but I can some people don't know that. I sure there are some people that don't even know you are the customer. You first place is got you flat cash.
Anyway, we don't want to talk about me now. It's not about me in the program. Anyway, let's move on. Yeah. So guys, we talk about cricket now. Lobby, as I said, Windward Island. But I saw a couple, and I look at Pascal's decision, for instance. If a bowler is bowling, if you look at a bowler, and most times he's over the wicket and he's bowling wide, let's say he's not close to the stump, and he's bowling in swing, most time, 9 out of 10 times, the ball is going to go down the leg side. And you could see he was unlucky, he got out for naught, but that ball was clearly heading down the leg side. And there was a dismissal of Ryan John when they had a good partnership. I have never seen a worse decision like that. If they had 2 other stumps, the ball wouldn't have hit it. It was really poor umpiring, but you have to give Windward's credit, eh?
It looks like these are the same umpires we had in the last series, in the last regional tournament.
Man,
because
I tell you,
horrendous decisions. I don't understand it. So that's what I'm saying. At that level, you need the system,
DRS,
the DRS system to be in operation.
Yeah, it was horrible.
But a very unfortunate thing is that the guy, what's his name, got run out for 90 runs.
You mean,
that was very unfortunate.
Douglas
but a guy who impressed me, and I hope that he can get the proper management, because I can see the potential for this guy to be on West Indies team, given the quality of fast bowling that we have. Tyson. Tyson seems to be a good all-round cricketer. And for a guy to come at number 11 and back with that level of commitment to ensure that you win a game, it's outstanding.
Well, he's a good cricketer, I've always said, and I think it's good enough. And the captaincy, there were a lot of bad decisions in that. For instance, Tyson only bowled 6 overs. Kevin Hodge and Descat between them bowled 15 overs for 104 runs. That's 7 runs per over. And I've seen that a lot in cricket where Kevin is really not a recognized bowler. Similarly, Descat, where guys who are not recognized, they get a wicket and the captain persists with them. When they have done their job, you switch them off. Because the opening bowler, Ryan John, had bowled 4 overs for 15 runs. Tyson 6 for 30, 1 for 30. And they didn't bowl again. And then you had these guys bowling, and Windward Islands could have lost that game. The last 5 overs went for 75 runs, 75 runs. That was far too many.
Yeah, but
so I think...
why did they not bring back their strike bowlers? I was wondering, I kept saying, but that is complete madness.
Because what happened, they got confused. Kevin probably had bowled 6 overs for 15 runs. So, and then that over, he went for over 20 overs for 3 sixes. And captains make that mistake. your recognized bowlers must come back. They didn't do that. They were lucky. But having said that, you have to give credit to the lower. I thought Cyrus played well. Denver played well. Tyson played well. The lower order played very well. And tomorrow afternoon, they play Trinidad. It's going to be on TV as well. 1 o'clock for people, listeners. Windward's play Trinidad from 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Like I say, Alec is back. He's going to be back in the team. I know they will make that mistake and have him to bat open because one of the openers have to get left out for sure. One of them has to get left out because I don't see any of the middle orders being dropped. So it has to be an opening batsman.
And most likely it will be
Pascal, I suspect, because you see, usually that's what happened. The senior man will not get left out. That is, what's his name?
Alec.
Solozano.
No,
Solozano is the other opener. So Pascal looks like the person that will be left out for Alec. So Alec has a chance now to go and make runs there, both you and Kevin. Roby, you asking what you have to do. When you get snubbed like that, it's a chance for you to go and impress the selectors, Lobby.
You know, last week we were asking the question. Last week we were asking whether or not Afanas was being set up to fail by having him bat open. And lo and behold, he's been dropped now from the West Indies team.
Well, I always felt that was a nonsense. Evan Lewis is an opening batsman by upbringing. The guy has 4 ODI 100 before the last one. You have him carrying the towel. You have a young man who was not accustomed to, but it's foreign to him, batting open, hadn't scored runs for a while. Obviously, he hasn't got confidence. And I just didn't understand it. It was just foolishness, honestly, to have Alec opening in 50 overs, and he hadn't scored runs for a while. Now he's dropped. So he has now to go and score a lot of runs, and I expect him to start against Bangladesh, the 2 test matches. But he's going to be under pressure. I can tell you that. He's going to be under pressure.
It's unfortunate. Thompson is very unfortunate that when we reach a situation where we've got to drop the captain of the West Indies junior team, Pascal. We've got to find a way of involving Pascal and allowing Pascal to grow.
Absolutely.
Another very important thing that we need to do, and it starts with the Dominica Cricket Association, the Windward Cricket Association, and the West Indies. How can we help people like Alec Afanas and this other guy Lobby just spoke about from Dominica?
Hodge.
How can we get those fellas to get mentally prepared? Fia Laffer was there a while ago. And one of Fia's strength, and you heard how she speaks, one of her strength is a mental preparedness.
Yeah.
Physically, she's there. She's got the talent, but mentally, she's prepared. This is where we need to work with our young cricketers. How can we get them how we can manage them and get them mentally prepared? And we need to do that very early for Tyson. Very, very early. Because when you look, Sibo, at the quality of our fast bowlers on the West Indies team.
Or the lack of quality, you mean?
Even on Sarri
They're not
Joseph.
many. They're not many.
Even on Sarri Joseph.
The lack of.
We've been bowling for a while.
You
know, we need to work with
Hold on, we have a caller, Lobby. 1 minute. Good evening. Go ahead, Lucas. Huh?
She's the April born, you know. She's mentally strong. She's the April born. That's what
All right, Muku. All right, thanks. We have another caller. Let's take the other. Muku says she's an April born, so she's strong. Good evening.
Yes, Sibo, good evening. Good evening to Dr. Fountain, Ronald, Lobby,
Good night.
Whoever is on the console, I don't know if it's my
Lambi,
Lambi, good evening. Good evening, Lambi. Ronald made a point that I had to call. I met a gentleman in town last week, and he told me, Alec, as soon as I'm talking about Asanas, he's very talented. He's a very good cricketer, but he is mentally weak. And then the Dominica Cricket Association, the Windward Cricket Association, have to find a way to work with Asanas. He tell me it's his mental preparation that's not there. That is why Asanas not performing very well. And just before I go, is there any way in our constitution, any way we can find to take those awards from the non-deserving? when we get into office.
That's a nice one.
Sebastian.
Yes, go ahead, Bobby.
Just want to talk on, Landa keep on talking about mental. I want to make him understand It's your fitness that matters. The fitter you are, you got to work on your fitness, Lander. As a person who have done sports all my life, trained all my life, when you're fit, you can walk through fire, brother. Your mental, you have, and like after, look, Sebastian, for example, all right? They were talking about mental in those days. There was cricket being played. Sebastian had a knock. They went look in the Windsor Park after work. After work, Windsor Park was flooded. 10, 12 guys bowling to you. Guys would get a knock steadily. When it comes to Dominica, look at Chandapal. When Chandapal is in Guyana, he said, he has to swing back, he swing. He has youngsters bowling to him. You have to do the work. You can talk about mental. You have to do the work. The fitter you are, is the more mentally prepared you are, brother.
West Indies, 72 without loss, chasing 209. West Indies, 72 without loss.
Sebastian, who are you playing again?
England, the ODI, Lobby.
What's the quality of that English team?
Well, 3/4 of their team are not there, to be fair.
Good question.
3/4, because right now, from Pakistan, they're heading to New Zealand. They have a series coming up. We have a call on the line. Good night.
Joby, let me tell you something. You have to be mentally strong for it to be physically fit, you know. You have to be mentally strong to be physically fit. If you haven't got that courage, you won't be. So your mental has to be strong to keep that body. You understand what I mean? Yeah, the willpower have to be there. That's what they call mentally strong. The willpower have to be there to maintain that body. So they go hand in hand.
Yeah. Guys, well...
Luis has 5 6s.
Yeah, well, he should always be
49.
playing. Even Luis, I saw, score one of the best 100 I've seen, 117 against England. He can hit the ball. I mean, his problem is his nonsense. No, that he's upstairs, that he foolishness every time. He looks for an excuse not to play then. He always, when I was selector, we virtually to be begging the guy. Every time he has some problem or some foolishness. But talent-wise, the guy's good, honestly, talent-wise. And I didn't understand them having Afan as opening batsman. He not playing.
And he was there.
And he was there. So I didn't understand it. I mean, and now you completely leave out Afan. I mean, it makes no sense anyhow. Well, they're going to do well. As I said, we want to wish you Winwood Islands the best tomorrow. We hope they can win because last year Winwood Islands only won one game, the 50 over. And it was, they had return matches. So now, there are no return matches, wrong Robin. You play 6 matches and the top 4 go to the semi-final and final. So you don't, 7 matches you play, 7, because there are 8 teams. So you play 7 games.
See, you're the connoisseur in cricket. Very knowledgeable. When you noticed 58 for 5, what was your prediction?
Honestly, I was pleasantly surprised we won because Douglas playing in his first match, you don't know what you're going to get from him, right? You don't know what you're going to get. Most of the batsmen had gone, they were out, and really, you have to give credit to Winwood Islands because that guy, his debut match, that was an outstanding inning from Dylan Douglas. And as I said, the lower order, you have to give them credit because most time, lower they hardly get practice in the nets, They hardly practice. But this guy from 9, 10, 11 played very well. You have to give credit. And Winwood Islands tomorrow, let's hope they can roll past Trinidad, beat them, get another few points, and match on to try and win the competition this year. Because last year, they didn't do well in 50 over.
When you look at the crowd participation, what's your impression of that?
Well, Trinidad is not a place where people go watch cricket. You know that. I mean, they only go watch if it's Trinidad Red Force playing in the T20 or something like that. That's the only time you get. Guys, we have come to the end of our program. We had a nice program tonight. We had FIA before. We had the volleyball. Spoken about cricket. There's test match tonight, by the way. First test, India, New Zealand, 12 o'clock tonight. Usually on Sportsmark. Winwood's playing tomorrow. West Indies today, and they play on Saturday again against England. Last caller for the night. Good night. Good evening.
Good night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good night. Good night, Sibu.
Bogey, quickly because we're winding up. Quickly.
Good night, Mr. Landa. You've been asking about that famous goal and milk. She's a celebrity, and Dr. Fountain. I heard you.
He PSA you. He PSA you, Bogoroy.
I wanted to call. I don't know if you spoke about Kevin. Because I was out, I came out late.
Last week we spoke about that.
Yeah. I wanted to extend my sympathies to his wife and family. And, Kevin and I played for...
You mean Kelvin, not Kevin. Kelvin Phillip.
Huh?
Kelvin, you mean, not Kevin? Kelvin.
Kelvin Felix.
You're right, you're saying Kevin, but it's not Kevin, it's Kelvin.
Oh, Kevin. Okay, sorry.
No, it's not Kevin, it's Kelvin.
I played the man. I played the Saints. With the man in Saints.
Mm-hmm.
So I was saying that I played with him. To me, as I wrote on Facebook, to me, he was one of the best defenders I've ever played with. I've represented played for about 7 teams in and out of Dominica. I've had a lot of coaches. I've had a lot of defense guys. Remember the days of Bo and Bullying and Peg Leg. But I always felt that Kevin was the best defender I played with. And the reason I'm saying that because he read the game. He knew exactly where to position himself. And sometimes he knew exactly where to position me as a goalkeeper. And at times, some people felt that he played too much with me because as well we were playing with 2 goalkeepers, So it's, I just want to extend my sympathies to the family and hope everything goes all well.
Thank you, Bogey. Okay, guys. So,
right,
thank you, Bogey. Thank you, guys. We Sports Rap want to wish everybody good holidays. Independence Day on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
There's Monday holiday as well. Tuesday Community Day of Service. Enjoy yourself peacefully. Have a good time. And so Sports Rap, we want to wish everybody happy independence. So on behalf of Dr. Fontaine, Ronald Lander, Emmanuel Loblack, and Lambi, we want to say good night. We'll see you next. Will you hear from us next week? Good night.
For a quiet, relaxing place to stay, call Porter's Place Guest House. Leaving the office late and need somewhere close to town? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Have business clients coming in and need accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Looking for group accommodation? Call Porter's Place Guest House. Located at 37 Goodwill Road in Portersville, upstairs ACS Supermarket. Enjoy our semi-self-contained rooms with private washroom, bathroom, Wi-Fi, air condition, cable network, mini refrigerator, all in a non-smoking environment. Call or WhatsApp at 1767-275-1899 or email us at info@portersplaceguesthouse.com to make your reservations. Porter's Place, your home away from home. Fit for a king, a queen, and all their royal subjects.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, Portland and tile cement, steel rods, galvanized and fenced pipe, and Rudolph Thomas can meet all your wire needs. Galvanized roofing sheets, doors, windows, toilet sets, face basins, and bidets. PVC piping, fittings, and lattice. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. And Rudolph Thomas is your one-stop shop for hard-to-find items like fiberglass mat and fiberglass resin and welding rods. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.